Listen, check. Give me a second. Hopefully this is working now. I don't know. I still haven't fully like checked. I definitely did like reset everything. I pray this is gonna give me like a we gonna get a wonking mixer of everything in this little intro. Okay, I'm gonna see if it's working. It's black screen because I was trying to do something, but just get bear with me. Okay, there we go. It did a lick of things, but at least we're fucking back. There we go. We're moving again because it froze. Like it froze on me. The whole shit froze. Like it was kind of weird. Cause like I just seen that I got like one of the podcasts. I got one of the podcasts up. It like I got a podcast up, but I didn't even. You feel me? I didn't even set up. I was frozen like this. Like, anyways, now wait. Nah, that didn't give me copyright last time. It didn't give me copyright. Okay, just making sure. Now we could do our intro properly. She did it at the Yo, my intro look funny as hell because like I don't know how to explain it. I want to dance to that and do better dances, but it's funny because like I'm not used to dancing to that song. But I guess my intro's just gonna be like a lot of shaking, a lot of because I don't got a lot of space and you can't really see me like everything I'm doing, so kind of throw me off. Anyways, what's good with motherfucking back? They might copyright me for that other shit. But fuck it. I don't even know what that I was standing for. We still didn't download no new sounds. Sorry, that was the thumbnail for. I done just fucked up the whole shebangy. Fuck, man. I'm supposed to just press. Bro, I'm still new to this streaming on my laptop shit. Restore all those fucking shits, bitch. Hold on. I really didn't mean to cut off everything. I had everything kind of set up too. I had the video, all that shit. Now I gotta go into my history. Right here. Yeah.
Imagine being able.
Fucking ads. Wait, we didn't go to our channel. Shit, I did go to my channel, but I went there real quick. Let's get a page for our channel, make it easier. So we don't gotta keep flipping back and forth for y'all. What the fuck you mean, bro? Come on, bro, stop. It's not gonna load and shit. Fuck. There go my They're my nephew. Shout out to my nephew. Dangerous Doug out here. What are you playing, Dangerous? Let's play. Let's go give him some support real quick. Let's see. Wait. What? Yeah, see, my shit fucking up right now, bro. Talking about my YouTube unresponsive. My shit was, that's what I was saying. Like, I thought I was tweaking when I first came on here, but my shit actually fucking up. Like, I might have to reset my whole laptop. Cause, like, first thing that wasn't working was, like, I was trying to load,
able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform. Years.
Alright, yeah. Well, we got this shit ready. Oh, my finger. Well, this one working, but I was just trying to show you my tube. Show y'all where we at with the subscribers. Alright, it's loading now. This used to be one of my favorite YouTubers right here. He used to be he do reaction videos all the time. Shout out to Ghost. He look. Why does this keep saying 360? why is it non-responsive compared to the other one? I don't get it. I don't get it. Now this whole shit about to shut down. I should have just stuck with what I was doing, but I wanted to show y'all that. I don't know. Come on. I should not even have to do it. This don't even gotta do it Wi-Fi. This just gotta do it with the laptop freezing, bro. Like, this laptop, I had it for so long too, bro. No, don't. Nobody told you to even bring up that. I was just trying to drop it, close it. Are we still like? Okay, we can still move and shit. Yeah, see, YouTube on some whole fuck nigga shit. They on that fuck nigga shit. Shut the whole program down, cuz. See, look. This shit, it be acting funny. I don't know how to explain it, bro. I don't know how to explain it to nobody. But YouTube and my shit, restore, please. Restore them bitches.
Years.
Okay. Restore the other one too, oh. There go my nephew again. Alright. Now go to our channel. There we go. Let's go, nigga. So, we just dropped 2 videos yesterday. One hit 533 today. One hit 64. Ain't too bad. These other shits we dropped this week hit like 200, 261. Ain't bad. Ain't bad. On some clips and some motivational for y'all today. Yesterday we ain't do too good with our podcast. Honestly, we had like 7, and it was doing that same shit yesterday. We had 7 viewers. We need 3 more to make it double digits, because each one of our podcasts have made us to double digits. That's the one thing I've been proud of. There's not like how, but like I don't think there's one podcast that had like single digits really. I think it was maybe like 1 or 2 my whole time. So please go ahead and do me a favor, get this up. Today we're gonna be watching, as y'all seen, like a short video, short couple videos. The reason why we even talking about stalking again, or talking about stalking in the first place, yesterday we had something weird going on the channel. Kind of find out somebody was being stalked yesterday on the channel. Garden, I say somebody, but y'all know who it is. We didn't want that to be like a thing, but low key it was, because some information that we got prior, and before I got on here, we figured it all out. We talked about it and shit like that. So shit is awkward. Shit is a little weird. But hey, I'm fine. Everybody else is fine. Nobody got nothing to worry about. But things that we should be worried about in life, you know. Well, please do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna be watching some videos today. It's gonna be more cartoonish videos / animations about people telling. These are true stories too. Like, these are true stories. People are just telling them, and somebody else built an animation around them. And I hope I do not get copyrighted on them, but you know, it's a story, so I'm reacting to it. So hopefully not. Well, it's your boy Q to the motherfucking G-O-D. We are at 320 subscribers. Yesterday, today, whatever day, 3 people felt obligated to subscribe, and I appreciate that 100%. We were just at, actually, we lost a subscriber last night. We was at 316, so we done gained 4 new ones today. So I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I was trying to tell people, I don't really mind that y'all are on here, as long as y'all ain't saying nothing crazy, trying to make people feel uncomfortable or bullying and stuff like that, because that goes against, I'm gonna have to deal with that stuff when it's on my channel, and I then eventually have the moderators and stuff like that and all this other stuff. But for sure, bro, on a hundo, I wish everybody, and I hope everybody's being safe, and I hope everybody is keeping the peace on this channel. I can't, protect anybody or shit, damn near protect my damn self. But regardless, we're here today. We got 320 subscribers, man. I appreciate everybody. I was saying, if you do decide to unsubscribe, go ahead, man. Eventually, somebody else will take your spot. Somebody else may want to put me at 320 subscribers. Maybe somebody else enjoyed the content and was ready for So it's all up to you, man, if you want to be a part of the journey, man. Because 1 minute I'm thinking like, damn, we might lose another subscriber tomorrow. Or I'm thinking, damn, we just gained 3 to 4 of them today. We might gain another 4 or 5 tomorrow. Who knows? You could lose one, but you can gain 3 to 4 or 5 the next day. So don't be discriminatory on yourself. Shout out to all the people who are on the channel on YouTube who are trying to get their shit done. I might go grab me something to drink real quick. We about to set up this video right here. Shout out to Martin Animations. Hopefully that get me enough to not get copyrighted. So there's 3 stories, and I guess they're somewhat horror stories, but probably one of them have to do with being stalked, because that's the words I typed in. So, but I remember I was watching these videos when shout out to my favorite one of my favorite creators, Corey X Kenshin. He was making these videos back way when and he was like just reacting more so to him. So today we're gonna talk about him, probably react and talk about some things that the person could have done better, or whatever, or talk about some situations. Like I said, yesterday was a weird situation where I got some information from my boy, and he telling me about another person on our channel. I'm not saying we don't gotta say names, but like I said, just being weird. He gonna let him know. I don't really care. It's not my business. When it's not my business, I be feeling weird about talking about it sometimes, but it became my business. But yo, first thing first, yo, being on the internet, try to be safe, bro. That's the first thing. To all the young people, to my nephew, to all the people who are young YNs, the people who are on social media, be careful who you give your information out to. Be careful what you're doing on your social media accounts. Some of y'all young people probably showing off things you think can't be copied and traced back to you, or you know, people can't steal from you through the internet. People can steal from you through the internet. People can find your address through the internet, and people can harm you through the internet. Believe it or not, people say the internet's a safe place. Internet is a dark place as well. It's just as dark as it is safe. So please be careful out here in these streets, on these internet streets, on these internet streams, IRLs. We see people do it all the time, but you're not the same caliber as everybody else. Everybody's different. Some people envy other people differently. Some people feel differently about certain situations. So we're at the point in time right now where I want you guys to take the time to check out all the weird ass pages on your social media. Go ahead and look who the fuck has 0 to like no followers whatsoever. I don't care if it's their fan page. If you know them, that's one thing. But if it's if you don't know them and they just got some random ass, start getting rid of those accounts, man. That's like another way some people could be watching you, or it could be another person taking over their account. Now they watching you on some weird shit. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, if you got social media, you shouldn't be worried about people watching you in the first place, because you have a social media account. Now, if your shit is private and that person is still trying to follow you, message you, talk to you, that is a problem. Especially if your shit is private and you're not answering them. Learn that, like I said, those accounts that have little to nothing to do, the ones that hit you up asking you, hey, can I have can you do me a favor? And it's like you never spoke to that person a day in your life. Like, just be careful of all those little signs and little. There's gonna be more. There's gonna be a little bit more tips I'm gonna give y'all. But let me go grab some drink, because I've been talking on the phone. My mouth is dry. I want to smoke. There's weed right here. I'm like, trying to smoke, drink this soda real quick. We got 30 minutes, so it's nothing too long. It's the last bit of weed I ain't got. It's the last bit of weed I ain't got. I just wanna smoke until my lungs collapse. I just wanna smoke till my lungs collapse. Where is my phone? I need to see the chat. 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 Where is my phone? Hey, we ain't got nobody in here today either. Let's go. Damn. Why be missing out, bro? Oh, fuck. Fuck, I missed the one. Bro, y'all gotta stop doing that, bro. That shit, oh, okay. I'm about to say, that should be making me so tight, bro. Like, don't show me a picture and then let that shit scroll by me. You feel me? Like, let me see that bitch. Yeah, damn. Like, for real. Like, fuck. How the fuck I was supposed to know who the fuck that was? But y'all just gonna drop this shit down like, bitch. Instagram. Alright. That was it. That was it. Just need to see who that was. I need to see who that was. See who that was. Fuck on her booty. Look on her look. I'm gonna go get me some drink. Go ahead and like on that video. Go ahead and like on that titty, ho. Alright, yeah, so, yo, but like, yesterday, I ain't gonna lie. Ted, you know your name. You made me nervous, nigga. I will validly say I was actually genuinely nervous. Uncomfortable, would you say? Cause like I'm on stream, right? All the time. And I will not lie to you. Like people ask me where I'm from all the time. But majority of the time it's in the fucking chat. You feel me? Right? Nah, bro, zero, bro. Zero. Zero. It was valid. This nigga guard called me, bro. Showed me the picture of his actual notebook. I was like, oh, nah, this strange. I was like, this man was like low-key trolling us yesterday. But it really got me thinking, like, let's make sure these people understand what it's like to be stalked or watched. Nah, but you're missing the point, Zero. You're missing the whole point. This nigga had one. So the come to find out, he doesn't know. They don't guard as. Yeah, he doesn't know guard by guard. He knows guard by something else. So when I asked him who's guard, he was confused. And Gar explained it to me on the phone. He said, I want everybody to know who that nigga. I want everybody to know who that weirdo is. And I was laughing because I was like, nah, that is some weird shit. Like, I can't even deny how weird it is that he actually had a photo of Gars with the painting. I mean, with the little drawing. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was mad strange, bro. When he sent that, and then Gar was like, bro, I drew that. And then Gar showed me today. Like, literally, he called me, FaceTime me, showed me the actual footage of the paper, the artwork, and it's fucking valid. Like, it was creepy. I said, oh, nah. This nigga weird. Why would you show me somebody else's creation if you ain't fucking with that person? Like, you show me, like, I literally was like, do you know who this person is? And he said no. But then come to find out, you do know who this person is because you follow them and you're on their social media accounts. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and you took a picture and you're a fan of their social media account. So you do know this person, but you don't know this person by their other name because they never allowed you their name. Long story short, we're coming to find out this person just be following and doing weird shit. Live out in the boonies. He live out all the way in the boonies. Say he's socially awkward, but I don't know, bro. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I buy when somebody else is worried for their sanity. Like, niggas I don't think most niggas be tweaking for no reason. Like, I've never seen Gar really trip either about too much. So the fact that Gar was going off for at least like an hour and a half, I believe it's true. Yeah, for all y'all who wasn't here yesterday, like, it was during the stream. Yeah, it just has a little bit of weird shit going on. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of stalking going on. I felt like, at least based off of the way I'm learning now, it definitely go by stalker mentality. This is definitely a stalker type of move. I won't call him a stalker, but the moves he was making were very stalkerish. Very predatory, like, very one way, one sided. Let me get answers from you. I'm gonna barely give you answers. Like, that was just all weird to me. But anyways, I was supposed to get something to drink too. Hold on, let me get something to drink so I can smoke in peace. Check the chat. Zero, Ted was the first one in here. Yo, I saw these videos. I'm too desensitized to horror for watching like 1K away to die for no more activity. Too young. Yeah, but it's not horror. This is not really horror. It's just horrifying. I don't think these are horror. This is not like a. It's not gonna be crazy horrifying, but it's definitely like one of those moments where, because all right, so these stories are people who are telling them from like real life. This is real life stories. These are based off real life stories and things that really have happened to people in general. So stay tuned. Hold on 1 second. All right. Shout out to Ted. Shout out to Zero. I appreciate you guys joining. Like I said, Ted, that was some weird shit that you've been doing. I ain't gonna lie. But they ain't really, like I said, can't deal with stuff that ain't got nothing to do with me. But anyways, will not be participating in all that weird. But yeah, man. So let's get the video started, man. You already been here long enough.
It was just a regular local place, but was open until 2 a.m. every night. During high school, I would only work after school until 8, but once I graduated, I started working the closing shifts to save up money for college. The restaurant would be surprisingly busy at night, all the way up until closing. Mostly, it was just people picking up online orders, but sometimes groups of friends would come in and hang out at one of the tables while they ate. I definitely preferred working at night though, as I would be the only one there and didn't have to listen to my dad bossing me around. Anyways, after 6 months of working nights, things started to get pretty weird. It was almost closing, around 1:45 a.m., and I was in the back cleaning when I heard the door ring. I finished up what I was doing and made my way to the front counter. There were 2 young men who looked really tired. One of them came up to the counter while the other one stood at one of the tables. "Our dining room is closed for the night, but I can still take a small order if you want it for takeout." The man at the counter just stared at the menu and didn't say anything. I stood there uncomfortably as the man shifted his gaze to behind me as if he was inspecting the place. A few seconds later, the man by the table quickly walked out and the other guy followed. It was definitely the weirdest encounter I'd probably had, and I couldn't really think of any reasonable explanation. I kind of just assumed that they were planning on robbing me, but then decided otherwise for some reason. The next morning, I told my dad about it, and he said I could start locking the doors at around 1:45 for the next few days. Another week went by with nothing unusual before it happened again. I had a customer picking up an order around 1:30, and almost as soon as he left, one of the men from last week walked in. It was the one that was standing at the table, and I noticed right away that he was wearing the same exact clothing as last time. However, this time he came up to the counter. He looked me in the eyes for a second, and then asked me if I could help him jumpstart his car. The way he said it was really creepy, and it was very obvious that there was something else going on here. Sorry, I have to stay in the restaurant during my shift." His face immediately shifted into a frown. He said it would only take a minute and no one would know that I left. At this point, I knew something was very off, and I started to panic a little bit in my head. He started making his way back to the door, gesturing me to follow him. I honestly wasn't sure what to do, and was really freaking out, but my fight response was starting, and my adrenaline was pumping. It's worth mentioning that I'm not really that big of a guy at all, and this man was much larger than me. Plus, I was pretty confident that the other guy was nearby too, probably ready to jump me if I didn't comply. But I figured I was screwed either way, so I might as well try to fight. I grabbed a pair of scissors we had behind the counter and stood my ground. The man turned around again once he reached the door, and this time he looked angry and demanded that I followed him. At that same instant, a loud bang came from behind me, followed by the back door slamming open. I ran to the back, and as soon as the guy saw me, he bolted right back outside. I turned around quickly and ran back to the front counter, but the other guy had left as well. I obviously called the police afterwards and gave them the security footage, but it was pretty low quality and hard to make out any identity from them. Anyways, I'm still not really sure why they didn't just attack me and rob the place, but my best guess is that they were just trying to rob the store without harming anyone, so as soon as they saw I was gonna fight, they ran. Those 2 could have easily taken me down and made the situation much worse, so I'm glad it didn't turn out that way.
There's more.
I work as a cybersecurity analyst for a large office company in my town. I had just started off my first job in the field, so of course I had to work the shift that nobody else wanted to. Working overnight wasn't as terrible as I thought, though. It was actually pretty peaceful. My job mainly consisted of looking through log files to make sure nothing sketchy happened while the rest of the crew was sleeping. This meant that I was always pretty much alone in the office building for several hours.
Alright, so there's 6
I'd fall asleep pretty often, as staring at a
That first story wasn't that bad. The first story I thought was going to be way worse. Honestly, it said horrifying night. It said horrifying night shift. I guess. I'm assuming there's 6 more stories. I'm assuming it gets worse, but I don't pre-watch my videos, so if this is lame, I'm sorry. If this is not the best stories and not the scariest things, I apologize. But also, not even I really apologize. I apologize if it's not like, I thought it was going to be a little, because when I used to watch these, they were a little bit more, we'll see. We'll give it another 2 more. There's six stories. We'll see, and then we'll probably switch to another
screen for hours on end in the middle of the night was hard on my eyes, and with nobody there to keep me company, staying awake wasn't very easy. I started setting soft alarms on my phone to go off every hour, just to make sure that I didn't sleep through my entire shift. I had been working this job for about 4 months when this happened, and I actually still work there now. It was a regular night, and my coworker had just finished his shift at 12 o'clock and left the building. A couple minutes later, I got up and started the coffee machine, and then I walked down the main hallway to do a general check for anyone still in the building. This was my regular routine, just to make myself more comfortable. I sat back down at my desk and took my phone out to turn on the alarms, and then continued on with my work. It was about 20 minutes later when I realized I had never heard the coffee machine beep that it was done, and I went to check on it. I walked down the hall to the small coffee desk and saw that there was no coffee in the pot, and then I saw that the entire coffee machine was turned off. I thought it was weird, but that's about it, and I just turned it back on and went back to my desk. As soon as I sat down, I noticed my phone wasn't where I had left it on the desk. I patted down my pockets and ran back to the coffee desk, but it wasn't there either. I played it back in my memory, and I knew for sure that I had placed it right on my desk, right next to my keyboard. I started to get really freaked out and looked around frantically. The way my desk was set up, it was right in the middle of a large room with other desks and computers. I felt like I was being watched as I stood there in the middle, knowing that someone else had to be in there with me. Nervously, I called out in a shaky voice to my friend, really hoping that it was just him playing some dumb prank on me. I waited for a few seconds, but there was no reply. As I stood by my desk, another few seconds went by before I heard a soft shuffling coming from behind a desk in the far corner. Almost immediately after, my phone alarm rang from the opposite corner of the room. My first thought was that there were probably 2 unknown strangers in the room with me, and I instantly started running for the door out of the building. I didn't hear any footsteps behind me as I made it out, but I didn't take any chances. I ran across the street to a neighboring gas station, and I called 911 with their phone to report the unknown people in our office building. The police arrived quicker than I thought and searched the building. They brought out a man after only a few minutes, though I didn't recognize him at all. They also retrieved my phone, which they found behind some boxes in the corner of the office. He was also found with a small knife in his pocket. The next day, we got a lot more information about what really took place. Apparently, the man was an old employee who had been fired recently before I started working there. The man told the police he was trying to scare me in order to get me to leave the building so that he could take back his company laptop. Apparently, he had information that he wanted from it. At least, those were his claims. It all seems really weird to me, and I'm not sure if I even trusted his reasonings to breaking in, but my coworkers did say that they remembered the guy, and he was definitely a little bit strange. I'm glad I got out of there when I did, though, because I'm not sure what would have happened if his plan didn't work, and I chose to stay in the building. And another 2 weeks complex, as I'm usually in a rush or just not in the mood to socialize. Anyways, I lived on the top floor, and the room across from me had an old couple living there for almost 2 years before they moved out. I never talked to them, so I didn't really care, to be honest. But several months go by before someone new moves in, and another 2 weeks went by before I actually met them.
Alright, hold on, before we go on to the next story, let's talk about this one, because that was wild. First of all, how you gonna hear somebody in the office the whole time? And second of all, that's crazy, bro. This thing could have got stabbed. Could you imagine getting stabbed at work? Could you imagine being on a 9 to 5 and getting stabbed at work? We're gonna watch this last one because I feel like there's
I was getting ready for work one morning and preparing my packed lunch when I hear the neighbor's door open. I didn't think much of it until another minute went by and I realized that I never heard the door close. I finished getting ready and put my shoes on, then opened my door to leave. I immediately noticed that the neighbor's door was still open, and a tall man in his 40s or 50s was standing right outside the door facing me. He smiled and introduced himself. I faked a short smile and told him my name, then said I had to go to work and began walking past him. But as I started down the stairs, he asked me to come in for a little bit and have breakfast with him. This was really weird, as I had just told him that I needed to go to work. But I just said sorry and continued down the stairs and out of the complex. While I was at work that day, I thought about how strange the interaction was. Thankfully, when I got back home, I was able to get into my apartment without any interactions. But the next morning, I woke up to a knock at the front door. I was really annoyed because I had work today and now I was up early, but I quickly got dressed and opened the front door. My neighbor was there, but strangely he was standing right in front of his open door again. He asked me to join him for breakfast again, to which I obviously declined and told him in a more aggressive manner to not knock on my door so early. The man didn't seem very happy about my answer and just kind of stood there. Then he said that I didn't have to leave for work for a while and I had enough time to eat with him. I knew that there was something wrong with this guy, as
See, now this is what I'm saying. And Ted, you're here to understand this. You're here to see how weird it could be if someone is telling you, nah, I'm good, and you still insist. That was me yesterday. Like, nah, chill, I'm good. I don't know. Where you from? I just want to make sure you're not lying. Where you from? Sounds crazy. I'm from Ohio. Where you from? I'm good. I don't want to tell you. Then you send somebody codes. Like this would be the moment. Let's finish the story.
There was a lot about that response that was creepy. I firmly said no and then backed away and closed my door, making sure to lock it. Again, the more I thought about this guy, the more creepy and disturbing the interactions seemed. The rest of the day went by as usual though, and I got home around 6. I made some dinner and watched a movie, then got ready for bed around 11. I laid in bed for a while, thinking about my creepy neighbor and wondering what to do about it. I decided that if anything else happens, I'd contact the owner of the complex and have him talk to the guy. Then I leaned over and turned off my lamp and tried to fall asleep. But a few minutes later, I heard the neighbor's door creak open. I waited silently, listening to what the guy was doing, but I couldn't hear anything else. Again though, I never heard the door close. I was pretty nervous, unsure of what the man could possibly be doing this late at night. Eventually though, I drifted asleep due to not hearing any further noises for over an hour. I'm not sure how long I slept before a loud knock at the door woke me up. but these knocks didn't come from my front door. They were at my bedroom door. I shot up, completely terrified, and turned on the lights. The only thing I had to defend myself with was a small screwdriver on my nightstand.
I was wondering why I was there.
I grabbed it and stood next to my bed, shaking in fear, before picking up my phone and calling 911. When they arrived at the front door, I quickly got out of my room and opened it. I was surprised the door was even shut, but I told the officers everything and all about my suspicions of the neighbor. Unfortunately,
these niggas is pussy.
We know you're hovering over that button, but we need your help. We have a better button, we promise. Right on time. Not bright.
These are still Martin stories, though.
The whole thing happened back in summer 2016. My parents go on holidays quite often, and I used...
Before we continue, stalking goes along those lines. If somebody tell you don't want to be bothered, bro, rule number one: someone tell you they don't want to be bothered with you. This go for 0 too. I'm not saying that 0's a stalker. 0 knows his limits, but to pressure anybody is to genuinely, even if you're asking nicely, even if you're asking, just knocking on the door, being persuasive, trying to be persuasive, can be soon. People can look at it in another way. People have different perspectives of what weird is, what their boundary levels are, where they draw the line in being safe. Because as you can see in some of those videos, people were calling the cop. Well, the dude didn't even technically in the first video, the guys didn't technically do anything. He said, "Come outside and help me with the thing," but then he heard a knock on the back. Technically, I feel like I would have stayed. I would have stayed right there. I wouldn't have went to the back unless there was something back there important, like food or like I don't know. Even that, I still wouldn't have went back there because then he could just come around and rob the front. Like I don't know. But if he was worried about them getting him, going to the back would probably be a worse bet because then you're turning your back to him, and then you turn around, you about to go stab this dude with the scissors, then he come grab you, choke your ass up, or whatever it may be. It just would have been bad. I think you should focus on who the freak is in the room. First of all, in the first situation, let's break every situation down. So the first situation was he was in the room. It was in a pizza shop. He was in the pizza shop. 2 guys came in. First time, they don't really do nothing. The second time, the guy tried to be slick, asked him to come outside. The dude doesn't go. He does the smart thing. Second thing, he kind of fucked up is he didn't have to grab the scissors. He could have just said, "Nah, I'm not coming." He could have grabbed the scissors and just kept him underneath and waited until the nigga actually did something. He didn't have to run to the back either. Let the guy from the back come in, whatever, and let all the shit get caught on camera, nigga. Because now it looked like you ran away from the situation on camera. Feel me? And you had to go talk to your dad about it. I'd have been like, nah, I stayed there and waited until the first dude went outside. Because then he wanted me to go outside with him. But I told him, nah, I got to stay here. And then I heard a bang in the back. But I ain't go check that out because I'm black. For real, bro. Don't, honestly, if I heard something going on in the back, bro, I'm not sitting here trying to defend both. My job is to defend this cashier. The money is probably the most important thing. If we don't got no safe in the back, or if we don't got nothing in the back that's worth it, I don't give a fuck. Majority of the time, there's not much in the back that's as much. It's not majority of the time as worth it. Unless there is a safe that they go to or like a part, you know what I'm saying? Like, and even that, man, nigga, go break into the safe, nigga. Go ahead. I was here trying to make sure he didn't fucking rob nobody or some shit. Anyways. But I think personally though he did a good job at least with that part. But now it's like he got niggas on his ass just stalking him low key. And he told his dad, call the police. Good job. I'm gonna give him first guy gets like a solid solid C plus because he did go to the back. I think that's a big no. Because, like I said, you could have got jumped back there. One dude come back there, found his way in, or you took your eyes off the front. Now he allowed like 17 other guys to come in here. Nigga smashed the cameras, smashed the whole place. Like, you know what I'm saying? You never know what the diversion could be. So I would always stay focused on the front. Fuck the back. Back in, somebody came in. Well, I was here in the front. It was just me manning the store. I didn't want the first. I didn't want all the money from today to get, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want all the money from today to get taken. So, anyways, yeah, I give him a C plus. The second guy, though, he gets almost like an F. The nigga was falling asleep. He didn't know where his phone was. He was too scared to look around the office and actually check, nor turn on the lights. Too busy worried about coffee. Like, nigga, your phone is missing, nigga. The fuck? Your phone is missing. You worried about coffee. And he like, I went back to the coffee thing to see if it was there. It's not there. Then I heard footsteps. Like, how you ain't hear this nigga come take your phone? Nigga, you went from one spot to the next. You ain't hear no doors open. You heard this nigga took your shit. You was sleeping by yourself, nigga. On the job at that. That was terrible. He literally could have died. Because the police found him in the building. That was probably technically right now, that was one of the scariest ones. Because everybody else other than that was just like either just aggressive or nah. But I don't know. So far, none of these have been crazy horror. And if you was, I mean, in real life though, I won't lie. If I'm at a desk job and I am the only person that's supposed to be in the building right now, and I hear somebody or somebody still, that is some scary shit. I ain't gonna lie. That's some stalker shit. Kill me while I'm at work. That's the worst, bro. Getting killed at work is probably the worst way to go. People are like, oh, well, at least you were earning money. Like, no, nigga. You was working for the man. You wasn't enjoying your full time. You know you probably didn't want to be here tonight. You had a feeling. And then some shit went down. That's probably one of the worst things ever. Personally, to me. Like, to really think about it. And then, like, the other guy, he was just a bitch. The last guy, he was really a bitch. Simple as that. Nigga said, come have breakfast with me. He said no. I would have been like, nigga, don't knock on my door no more. If you knock on my, I would have came out there with the screwdriver, nigga. This nigga said I was scared for my life. For what? That nigga live across the street. He getting done up. Bow, right there with the screwdriver. Poke, poke, nigga. I'll call a 9. I'm calling. See me. I'm the type of nigga. I was gonna call 911. I'm gonna talk to that nigga through the door first. See what the fuck he on. I'm like, why you knocking on my fucking door? That nigga just called the police. Like, you going? I'm like, yo, what, nigga? Who the fuck is this? Fuck, nigga. Nigga knocking on my door, nigga. You know what time it is, nigga? I will come out there. I'm like, I'll come out there and stab you right in both your eyes if you don't get the fuck away from my door. He had breakfast. Nigga, I don't care. I don't want breakfast. Nigga, get all the way from my door. I don't even know what happened because I was so mad about the way he even handled that. I should have let the story play out. But fuck that. It was boring, low key. Nigga called the police immediately. I should have let the story play out, huh? Now I kind of want to figure, because I let every other story play out. Hold on, before we start this.
Years. It was just a regular local place, but was open until 2 a.m. every night. During high school, everything and all about my suspicions of the neighbor. Unfortunately, though, there was no real evidence of a break-in, and they couldn't do much at all. I knew what I heard was real, though, and I did not feel safe in my apartment anymore. I called my sister later that day, and she agreed to let me stay at her place for a few days. Those days went by quicker than I hoped, though, and I started driving back to my apartment on Saturday evening. I tried to stay calm, assuring myself that the guy had given up by now, and everything would be okay. I pulled into the parking lot and made my way into the building. The sun had just set, so the staircase was dim. I slowly made my way up, trying to stay quiet as to not let my neighbor know that I was coming up. Once I reached the top, I saw his door was closed and I got a big sense of relief as I quickly made my way through my door and locked it behind me. I dropped my bag in the hallway and turned on the lights as I turned the corner into my living room. I jumped back screaming as the man was sitting right on my couch staring at me with a
I thought, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think the story was gonna get interested, but that's funny as hell. This nigga's in here like, I see you've been away for a couple days. Yeah, this nigga's in the apartment. Yo. Oh shit. Nah, facts, zero facts. Bro, Zero, what you doing what are you doing if he's in your apartment, bro? Like after you felt weird and you see him in your apartment. What's your first move? After jumping back and being like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Chat, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing if y'all find somebody in your apartment? I wish I had like a couple more people in here and get a couple of opinions. That'd be dope. I want to hear what people would do. Just type like 2 things. Be like, grab knife, whoop ass, or call police, or maybe 3 things, 4 different things. I'm too prideful to leave my apartment to begin with. Okay, so what happens? All right, you come back from work. You came back from work and he was there. Nah, you just came home, so you gonna come home. You gonna grab the sword. Like, as soon as you see him sitting there, you be like, stay right there, and you go grab the sword. Okay. So you come. I'm just saying. I wanted like an order, cause I know for me, like right now, bro. Word to bro. Like right now. If I come in the house and the nigga's sitting right here in my room, bro, grabbing the scissors and the hammer slash. It's 2 or 3 things. It's like a couple different things. But I know for a fact it's time to crash out. And we definitely, I'm gonna try to use my words, but really words is less than what's gonna be happening. And one of the things are getting thrown down. The sharpest things is getting picked up. The hammer's getting put to the side for real quick. You feel me? I got one. Feel me? That shit, and then all the sharp shit that I can is coming straight with me, and you going straight to you. Okay. Invalid my space like flying. You're going to get the flying treatment. Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, I'm going straight for the harm. Like, whatever harm you. And I'm gonna be calm. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make no scene. Like, oh my God, you're in my crib. I'm gonna be calm. Depending how. If he's like this, on my couch comfortable, I'm gonna walk into my kitchen. Right, cause it's right there. I'm already coming from that way. I'm like, oh, yo, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm just go grab my shit real quick. I'll just be right back. Nah, I'm not. Especially if there's like a man who's bigger than me or something like that. I can't just throw straight hands. I'm not doing that. If it's a man who my size, I might throw hands. If it's a man my size, I might just throw hands. But I don't know what he got, so I'm gonna make sure I go have something that's gonna back me the fuck up. First words is get out. Second word, swing. Yeah, go for everybody, Ted. Go for everybody, Ted. Goes for everybody. You're dead. I'm not. Don't come into my. Don't do that shit.
Wide, awful smile. I sprinted out of the entire complex and into my car, then called the police again and waited for them in a nearby parking lot. When they arrived about 10 minutes later, we drove up to the complex and they went into the apartment while I waited by my car. Surprisingly, they came out just a minute later with the man in handcuffs. They said he was still sitting on the couch and that they also found a small knife in his pocket. The most disturbing part of this whole situation, though, was that when he was questioned, he admitted to breaking in 3 separate times, and I only knew about the 2 incidents, which meant that at one point he was hiding in my apartment, probably watching me without me even knowing. I have a little Jack Russell dog named Maggie, and she has a lot of energy, so when we go for walks, it's not uncommon for them to spread to the 2-hour mark. This particular day, I got home from work around 5:30, and the sun doesn't usually set until 6:30 or 7. Almost immediately after walking through the door, I put her leash on and quickly changed, and then we headed out. The walk went as usual, as Maggie just took me in whichever direction she wanted to walk in. Things didn't start to take a turn until about an hour in, when the sun was almost fully down. And unfortunately for me, I had walked further than I'd realized. If you take your dog for long walks, you know how easy it is to zone out, especially if your dog rarely stops to sniff. We had walked in a direction I had taken normally, but the particular street I was on was unfamiliar, but I still knew the general direction home. I started to turn around, but Maggie was standing still, and then she began whimpering softly, and that's when I saw it. Through the soft light of the sunset, I could make out a huge coyote staring at us in the middle of the street. It was roughly the size of a golden retriever, with matted fur, and with its mouth partially opened, you could see its disgusting sharp yellow teeth. I knew exactly what it wanted. I picked Maggie up and started walking the opposite direction. I was a bit fearful, but for some reason I thought it would just go away. I didn't know these streets very well, but what I did know was that I had to keep moving. As I quickly continued, the coyote slowly followed, keeping its distance still. But the darker it got, the more scared I became, and after walking down random neighborhood roads in the darkness for a while, I came to the horrifying realization that I was lost. All the turns had messed with my sense of direction, and I had no idea which way to go. Through the darkness, I could now see the glowing eyes of the beast, and could now hear it yipping and howling. As I walked further through the dark neighborhood streets, every few minutes another set of glowing eyes would appear behind me, and even more, louder howls. I could tell they were getting closer too.
Sorry, I just wanted to skip ahead.
Which made me even more emotional as I knew that she was aware of what may soon happen. The howling and yipping became more frequent, growing louder and closer. I looked back one more time to see all of their eyes staring at me from only 30 to 40 feet away. But suddenly and strangely, they all began to separate, moving to the sides of the road. A few moments later, a small car slowly makes its way between the crowd of coyotes and stops right next to me. A lady rolls down her window and asked me if I needed help. I was so thankful for her and told her to please take me home. There are almost no circumstances in which I would willingly get into a stranger's car, but I really had no other choice. The lady was really nice and seemed terrified for me. I was crying at this point, knowing I had just been moments away from a grueling attack. She kindly dropped me off at my house, which was almost 20 minutes from where she picked me up. I live in a nice neighborhood, one where you don't have to worry about your house being broken into or carjackings. The only growing problem in our neighborhood, and many neighboring ones as well, is coyotes. It's been a few years since this incident happened to me, and as time went on, there became more and more showing up around town, getting bigger and stronger. The public knows to be cautious, especially in parks where the only thing I really had to do was stock the shelves and the night shift a few days a week, usually Friday and Saturday. My shifts were usually boring and honestly just a game of trying to stay awake. The only thing I really had to do was stock the shelves and occasionally help a customer. I would get a lot of drunk people or families on road trips, and sometimes even whole groups of friends. But for the most part, it was pretty quiet. On this night, it was around 2 a.m., and I hadn't had a customer in over an hour, so I was starting to doze off a little bit. The desk was around the corner from the entrance, and there was a bell on the door that rang when somebody walked in, so usually falling asleep wasn't too big of a deal. I woke up after a few minutes, hearing the bell ring, and a few seconds later, saw a customer walk in. He looked like a typical 30-year-old man that would come in for some beer or a snack. He walked around for a little bit, down every aisle, looking at everything. Now, I've worked in retail for a long time, and I know what it looks like when someone is looking for something specific. But this man had nothing in mind. He was just looking at the shelves, browsing the store. During the day, this is pretty normal, but people don't usually come in at 2 a.m. to browse the gas station shelves. I looked out the window to my left to see if he was filling up his car and was maybe just passing the time, but there were no cars outside. A couple minutes went by before he eventually looked over at me and said thanks, and then walked out. I didn't know what to make of that, but I just figured he stole something small and was just being a dick about it. The whole situation left my mind after a few minutes, and I started to get really tired again. This time, I decided to grab my cart of items to stock and start filling up the shelves to pass the time. I'm not really sure how long I was stocking for, maybe 20 minutes, before I saw a man show up at the end of the aisle I was stocking. It made me jump a little, as I never heard the door ring. This guy was wearing a large hoodie and dark clothes. I pretty much knew right away that something was very off. The man continued down to the back of the store, and I immediately went back to behind the counter. I tried not to stare, but I noticed that as he walked down the aisles, he wasn't looking for anything. He was just browsing. It clicked in my head immediately that this was the same guy from just a little bit ago, but he had changed clothes for some reason. I also came to the realization that he probably came initially to scope out the place before doing whatever he planned on doing. I started to panic in my head. The man began to come down the aisle closest to the counter, and I could see something heavy in his front hoodie pocket. I made a split-second decision to try and prevent any further escalation, and I said, "Welcome back, sir. Need help finding anything?" He made eye contact with me, and I could tell he knew exactly what I was trying to do. He approached the counter, not saying a word, and brought his hand out of his pocket, revealing a small handgun. Then he grabbed a small pack of gum from beside the counter and placed it in front of me. He said, "Just this." Confused and in shock as to what was happening, I didn't even react for a few seconds before eventually scanning the gum nervously. Still holding the gun, he took out $1 from his jean pocket and threw it on the counter, then said thanks and walked out. I was in total shock, trying to wrap my head around what just happened. I ended up reporting the situation to the police and calling my manager, who didn't pick up. No updates ever came out of the situation, but it had me on edge for the last few months that I worked there. I'm still unsure of what really happened that night, or what the man's intentions were.
Hey, she played it cool. I give her an A. Give her an A. She could have tweaked out. She could have said, "No, don't shoot me." Could have said anything. Made a split decision, said, "Anything else, sir?" Or "Have a good day." Kept it calm, I guess. I'm high as a fuck now. But still. Honestly, man. I thought we were going to get a little... Well, we got one stalker story. We got 2 stalker stories, actually, low key. Or one. It was the guy coming to the guy's apartment. We wanted to talk about today ways of staying out. Let me hit Chris up right now. See if he wants to play NCAA. Okay, you want to watch? Shout out to Highlight Workshop. I'm high as also. My fault, people. I'm just getting back to the chat. Shout out to Highlight Workshop. Y'all want to see the last video? We'll watch the last video.
But honestly, I'm glad I never found out.
Damn, Mr. Cat. Shout out to Mr. Cat.
I work at a Montessori school, which is basically just a really small school with 3 to 4 very tiny classrooms for children. Where I work, the classrooms are on the lower level of a church, and my job is to clean them every night after the classes. It would only take me around 2 hours to clean all the rooms, but I work the closing shift at a nearby grocery store as well, so I wouldn't get to the school until around 10:30 most nights. Something you should also know is that the church shared a parking lot with an old people's home directly across from it. I will admit, a lot of weird and creepy things have happened at this school, but the weirdest had to be what happened just a couple weeks back. I had just finished cleaning the second room and was beginning to move all of my cleaning supplies to the third room. It was probably around 11:45 at this time, which meant that I was running a little bit behind, so I was trying to rush. As I crossed the hallway to the third room, I hear loud bells echoing throughout the church upstairs. Someone had rung the doorbell. Nobody has ever shown up during any of my shifts before, as it was always so late, and both the school and the church were closed hours before. I was a little nervous, so I slowly made my way up the stairs and towards the door. It was one of those wooden doors with big tinted glass windows on it. Trying not to be seen, I looked around the corner to see who was outside. I saw an old woman, probably in her 70s or 80s, just standing right outside the door. I backed away before she could notice me. I decided to ignore it and figured she had just wandered off and one of the attendants at the old people's home would pick her up. I started my cleaning again, mopping the floors of the room, but only a few minutes later, I heard banging echo through the halls. I jumped a little, then I stopped to listen. The banging stopped for a few seconds and was followed by the old lady yelling from outside. It was hard to make out what she was saying, so I made my way back upstairs, where I could hear clearly what she was calling out for. She was calling for someone.
Can you stop? I want to watch. What you mean, cat? What you mean, can you stop? You don't want to watch, or you do want to watch?
Named Abby. She was just repeating her name over and over. As I got closer to the door, the woman stopped. I looked around the corner and she wasn't outside the door anymore. It was a little bit unsettling, but I assured myself that someone probably came and got her after they heard her yelling. I turned around and began my way back, when out of the corner of my eye, I see the old lady staring at me through the window right beside the stairs. She looked me in the eyes and yelled, "Abby, help me." Her eyes were wide open and her hair was long and gray. I immediately ran back downstairs and locked myself in one of the classrooms. I took my phone out and called the old people home next door, and I told them the situation, asking if maybe she'd wandered away from them. The lady on the line told me that everyone was there, and they would have noticed if anyone had left, as they're required to check out. She said that she would double check with security and to stay on the line just in case. While I waited, I heard banging on the window upstairs, and a few seconds later, the woman on the phone describes the old lady's features and asks if that was her. I said yes and mentioned that she keeps yelling for someone named Abby. There was a small moment of silence. "Ma'am?" I spoke softly back into the phone. She replied, warning me not to approach her and to find somewhere safe to stay until they could have someone come out and get her. Obviously, this just made me even more terrified. I stayed in the room, still listening to the repeated banging on the window from upstairs. Now, this building was pretty old, and I wasn't sure how long those windows would hold if she kept banging on them. Eventually, I heard some male voices from outside, and after what sounded like a struggle, they left. I sat there for a few minutes, just thinking about what had happened. Then I got up and finished cleaning the rooms. The whole situation felt pretty unreal, and knowing that the old lady is in the building across from me still makes me nervous. I never found out who Abby was, or why the lady was trying to get into the church, but I'm just glad I never opened the door.
Don't just take classes, take charge. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu.
Alright, well, that was it. That's it for today. Look, alright, the last one, I give him, he technically didn't have to, it wasn't a ghost, it technically was a person. But he gets like a, he technically gets like a, he almost gets an A. He almost gets an A because he called the right place. He figured, under duress, he figured out it wasn't just like some crazy ass old lady. He figured out it was probably an old folks lady, lady from the old folks home. So he probably get like an A minus, maybe a B. I give him a B plus. Only reason I give him a B plus is just because he was such a bitch. Like, he was just so nervous, and he figured out it was an old lady. Like, it was just an old lady, nigga. I would have guided her back myself. Nah, I ain't gonna lie though. I would have definitely been nervous as fuck. But at the same time, I would have been like, just been like he did, like call the old folks home or call somebody to come grab her. Like, if somebody come grab this old lady that's chilling at over here, banging on the window. I would have got mad if she was banging on the window. I ain't gonna lie. I would have got mad. But yo, stop banging on the window. Abby not here. I'm like, Abby not here. I would have been like, stop fucking banging on the window, Abby. She'd be like, where's Abby? You Abby. I would have been tweaking as a gender. So yeah, I give him a B. The girl in the car with the wolves, she was low-key ready to die. So she ain't have no fight or flight instinct, really. I give her like a C because she got lost. And she got lost in the darkness with her dog. She was, if the old lady didn't come save her, she was dead. She get like a D plus, maybe a C, because this bitch got tired and forgot where she fucking was like supposed to be at. Like, the fuck kind of shit. A lot of these stories are just because people were tired and now they can't like function, and that's crazy that reality has people so tired that they can't even understand that like there's a person in the building with you, in the same room as you. You can't even tell where your phone is at because you were so tired. You thought you left it over here, but somebody actually took it, and that person has a knife. You so tired, you forgot the pathway to get back home. Now there's coyotes following your ass, and then now it's 5 or 6 of them blocking your path. Like, how do you, like, life is really crazy, bro. You're that tired, that focused on whatever is going on in your life that you can't even see your surroundings. The nigga didn't turn on a light. Like, was it me, or was he like not working in the dark? The nigga who could have got poked up. And then on top of that, the guy who was supposedly just moved in, how the hell do you not hear? How do you hear him knocking on your door in the morning, but you didn't hear him break into your house and possibly freaking been hovering over your bed the whole time, bro? I don't know. I'm a light sleeper. I don't know. Maybe I was just thinking about that. Like, that is crazy. Like, low key, that people could be stalking you, wouldn't even know if you're a hard sleeper. Some people really wouldn't know. Like, and that's why you know, it's one thing I never want to get to, the dark web, bro. I never even want to even. I don't care if it's for money. I don't care if it's for none of that. That shit. After watching one movie, I ain't never want to do it again. I don't care what. Honestly, in one other movie that always makes me nervous was The Purge, because it always think about real life, how people really could try to break into your crib and all that stuff can go down, and police not always gonna be there to help. Some police officers are already bitches. Like, just think about how like people really do get away with certain things if you don't call the police or if you don't handle it the right way. Things can really go bad if you're not paying attention to the situation. Luckily, these people have caught the situation before it got too bad. Luckily. So, like I said, these stories are based on these are true stories that people have had real, like, they didn't use real names and stuff like that, but they definitely gave you a insight of their issues and their situations that where people either stalked them, people either pulled up on their job and just randoms. It's not even gotta be. It don't even gotta be a stalking person. It don't gotta be a person who's stalking. But like, stalking becomes a habit. It's a habit when you bother somebody more than once or twice over, you know, like, or like you bother them in a space of their, for instance, like following somebody home or following that person, going to their job every day at the same time and bothering that person. First is harassment slash stalking. Get both of those in there. Mix those two together. But please be careful and watch out for those signs and those moments where like a lot of these people had to make. If you listen, these people had to make a split decision. These people had to make a quick and understandable. I mean, no, I said understandable. A reasonable decision because either their lives was in the balance or they were nervous, they were scared, but they had to make a reasonable decision. So one thing I do want to tell you is in any of these situations, stay calm, stay level-headed, and think of a way that makes sense out of it. I don't know how she would have got out of the coyote situation. I ain't gonna lie, because if you start running, they gonna start chasing you. I ain't know how the fuck she gonna how to get out of that coyote. She just had to know her way home, and she shouldn't have been outside that late, I guess. To be honest. But be aware though. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware. Like getting lost is a big fucking issue in the world, period. We have maps, we have phones, we have compasses, we have so many different ways for you not to get lost. Follow the maps, follow the stars, follow light, shit like that, right? But to this day, I know so many people who can't remember like how to get to certain people's houses from like 3 to 4 or 5 streets over without using GPS. Getting lost is a big thing because imagine you get lost in some place, like for instance, that's like you're a black man, you get lost out and you decide to take a trip to one of you didn't know it was the most racist town, but Mississippi, Kentucky, anywhere where there's a lot of racism, you get lost and they still got some shit going on where the racism was going on and you get lost and they don't want to help you or they make you get lost or somewhere else because they don't like your skin color, your skin tone, or even if you are, matter of fact, you driving a nice car, you got lost because the GPS brought you somewhere else, but you need help. You need to talk to somebody. That person see you in a nice car and they hating on you. They give you the wrong directions, make you go somewhere else, spend all that gas and spend all that money in the car, and be tight. Getting in the car with strangers, as all the younger people that I do have on here, getting in the car with strangers is a no-go. I don't care how old you get, really. It's all like I said, it's very much too a know-how, understanding of what people may be capable of doing. I won't even lie. I've gotten in a stranger's car probably like twice in my whole life. And one time, genuinely, like the one time I got in the car, I was walking from a girl's house, right? And it was snowing like blizzard. Like the snow was already high from the other day, but it was snowing again and it was freezing cold. And I remember I was only like a street. I was like a street away. No, not a street away. Like in car form, I was like 5 to 10 to 15 full minutes from my crib. Like, nah. Walking distance, I'm like 30 minutes. Car rides, I'm like 10. Not even 5. 10. That's 5, 10. Whatever it was. Long story short, I remember I think it was a woman. Pretty sure it wasn't a man. She had a whole bunch of like clothes in the what's it called? And I sat in the front seat, and I remember keeping my hands next to the like the door handle and like the lock, just in case. And I know you could probably lock it, but the car was actually pretty old. But I remember just sitting really close next to her and just making sure I pay attention to my street. It was late as fuck. I was tired. The snow was everywhere. It was like a blizzard type shit. Like you can't see. She had to drive kind of slow. I knew where I was though. I was walking. I was trooping it back from where I was at. So, I do remember getting in a car with a stranger, but I got out. They let me out on the side of the road. I was like, let me get out right here because my house is up here and I don't want you to have to drive in the hill. Type shit. Boom, got out. Will I say, was it a valid reason for me to, get in a stranger car? Nah. If I told my parents I got in a stranger car, they probably would have flipped out. But genuinely, it was brick. I remember not having much on, and it was I was already struggling. Anyways, but be aware, man, of people watching you. Be aware of people actually having a lookout. Peace. I'm leaving. Shout out to Mr. Cat. I'm a deep sleeper. Cat A. That's crazy. Our police have no guns. What the fuck? Yo, that's crazy. Y'all police have no guns is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Police officers with no guns as well. But yeah, man, that's why we had that conversation yesterday with Zero. And everybody knows it's good to make sure we know, as a community too, be able to lean on some of your peoples. Ask around. You ever see that guy when you be at work? Like, for instance, that dude in the pizza shop. The dude in the pizza shop could have asked dad. He could ask dad, like, yo, you ever seen those guys come around here? You know what I'm saying? Light shit. Ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you do your research yourself. Anyways, I hope each and every one of you guys have a blessed rest of your day. It is 9:12. We are going to go to Naraka Blade Point. I was gonna probably go Power Roads, but but I'll probably just jump on Naraka just because we haven't played that in a little bit. I think it's been like a couple days. I don't know. Live. Cause we did Tekken the other day. We did MK. We did Naraka like 3 days ago. I would ask Chris if he around, but then it's gonna take like an hour or two. Power Worlds is still doing great numbers, to be honest with you. Shit, Power Worlds, man. It's either Power Worlds or... Cause Naraka is hitting like 21. We could do Naraka again. Let me see, hold on. Let me see if Faded online too. Faded! Are you here, buddy? He probably is. Let me see. There's 21 people online right now. Well, he don't like he's one of them, because it's definitely not with the F's. Okay, no, 9 people online. Shit. This nigga didn't even hit me back. We might not do a shit. If he don't hit me back, I'm not even about to jump in. I don't want to. Question. But yeah, man. Look. Watch your behinds, watch your sides when you're getting into your car, when you're trying to get into your crib. If you can install cameras, do so. It will help when crimes do happen. To capture something, some type of footage. So you could give it to the police and they could possibly do something for you. Even you could possibly do something with the evidence you get. When you're at work, also be aware. Don't put your... I want to say this too. Don't put your life on the line for your job. Don't be like, you're not taking the money. Give them the money. That's not your money. You didn't make that money. Y'all get robbed today, you still supposed to get paid by corporate. Okay? Y'all get robbed for shit, y'all supposed to get paid. Y'all could be out of a job soon, whatever knows. But y'all supposed to get paid the following week, regardless. So don't be a hero. Because we seen those today, like where the girl, She got an A+ for literally like kind of just let him finish, let him do what he was gonna do. Cause imagine she tweaked out like, oh my god, he has a gun. He like, bitch, chill out, and really shot her or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Versus like just letting him pull out the gum. Nigga pulled out some gum and paid for it, which was crazy. Nigga pulled out some gum and paid for it, which was, you know, way more. It's way more wholesome of him than to like go ahead and had shot her or this some shit like that. So keep your calm, keep your cool, understand where you've been, understand where you're going, know the map, know your layouts. I don't know about the coyote thing. I can't really warn y'all for that, but definitely pay attention to when you're getting into your car, when you're going into your apartment, the weird conversations, the weird way that people are acting when you tell them, "I'm good." When they say no, and the reaction they give, all that. Be aware of those things. Don't be fixated. Don't fixate on them. I said be aware. Understand when it happens. Be like, oh, I didn't note that. Note it. Make sure you document it. Don't sit here and overanalyze or underanalyze, but definitely take it into consideration about certain situations, because the nigga could be in your house. You would never know. He could be watching over you. He done found a way to break into your crib. And I'm learning nowadays that is very much possible for a lot of people. For a lot of people in this world, things can happen, but we don't ever think like that. We don't always put our minds to that. And I thought about it the other day, so I decided. Actually, matter of fact, not even thought about it. It came up in real life for me, my own personal mental thought process about the situation yesterday was like, all right, let's be aware. Let's make ourselves a little bit more feared, so we start taking more precautions. But being fearful is good because you also makes you want to take precautions. It makes you want to be more preventative of situations like that. So lock your doors at night, lock your windows. Sometimes it may not stop them, but definitely at least you knew you did that. So they definitely consider breaking and entering. If somebody's in your home, this is perfect. If somebody is in your home, you technically in Connecticut, you technically can't shoot them. Like, if I'm looking right at you, if they're looking at you, you technically can't shoot them. No, wait, is it? No, my fault. If they have their back towards you, if they have their back towards you, my fault. I'll switch it around. If they have their back towards you, you can't shoot them for some reason because it's like they're not a threat. But if I was y'all, I would definitely aim for the leg. Aim for the legs, okay? If they have their back towards you, I'm talking about. If they in your house, right, and you happen to have the gun on you and they looking right at you, you have all right to shoot them. But say they was in your house and they was robbing you and shit, and they didn't know you came back in the house, you got to be like, hey! That's a stupid fucking law, bro. You got to be like, hey! Or shoot him in the leg and tell him to get down and don't move. That's what I'm doing. I don't give a fuck. Talking about, I shot him right in his fucking. I'm not missing either. I'm gonna shoot that nigga right in his thigh. Because the thigh, you shoot that nigga in the thigh, that's kind of hard to, like, shoot him maybe twice. 2 warning shots. You get 2 warning shots. Bop, bop, get out. Or you're dead. The third, if you turn around and if you turn around at any point in time without trying to leave, if you don't know the law, I'm popping. Man, I don't even care. I dead if I had like. Never mind. Let me stop. Anyways, that's part of the law. I'm being dead ass. You can look that up. You can dead look it up. You're not allowed to really shoot, even if they're in your crib, bro. But I'm shooting you in your fucking leg. Take me to jail. Throw away the key. I'm shooting your ass. Shooting your ass in your ass. I'm either it's in your ass, leg, whatever one I can see first. Matter of fact, I still might shoot you in your back. I might forget the rules because I'm upset. And you can do that too. Hey, if you was in the heat of the moment and shit was heated, you could probably get away with that. You could probably beat that in case in the law. Anyways, in the court of law. What else? Yeah. Yeah, just be careful, man. Make sure you double lock your doors. You could also you could trick people. There's ways of looking it up, a way to making sure everything stays secure in your crib. Set alarms. If you're falling asleep at work, man, while you're on a security job, like securing some shit, you should definitely take some Dayquil, even if you're not sick. Just take some Dayquil, nigga. I don't know. Take some more. I don't like advising energy drinks, bro. Like, genuinely, like, if you're at a job and you're tired, bro, you need to get more sleep or something or whatever. But like, falling asleep on the job be one of the worst things you could do, period. So you're not supposed to really do it in the first place, but especially when it's possible dangers around, people possibly want to rob you and it's late nights. It's definitely best to be on your P's and Q's and not want to be falling asleep. Eat some gum, chew some gum. Poke yourself in the eye by accident, so now you just keep going like, you gotta wake up and shit. I don't know. Anything. But that lady right there at the end, she kept it together. You gotta be like her. Anything else, sir? Like, just keep it under wraps and keep it cool. Don't give out any information that you don't want to be shared publicly on the internet. Put it like that. If you don't want the information to be shared, don't give it out. Don't be out here putting it out. There's ways of you blocking your own information and making sure your shit does not get out. But some people may go ahead and do their digging if they need to. If you really don't want to be known, just get off the internet. If you don't want to be found or really, get off the internet. Don't even, just go blank, go dark. Just only use like YouTube and shit like that and change your names and shit. I have been cute to the motherfucking GOD. It's about to be 9:30. It's almost been a 2-hour podcast. / story time. Appreciate everybody who joined. Highlight Workshop, Cat, Ted, Zero, Jada Goddess, I believe. Anybody else who pulled up later on or after, I appreciate you guys. Yeah. 320 today. We just got 320 subscribers. We were, like I said, we were at 316. So let's go ahead and be like a little official with it. You feel me? And be like, well, motherfucker. We're at 320 now. I was just thinking about, you know what's crazy? Like, it really do be crazy to me. I was just thinking about 320, like 320 subscribers. I was like, I can't wait till you hit that shit. And we just did a good video today too that had like 600 views just now. I think. Let me see. Go check real quick. Go check. Yeah, hit 602, man. We just hit 602 views, 7 likes, 66 on the other one. The other podcast that I didn't even mean to drop, that was just like a fluke. That got 8, but I gotta drop. I low-key want to drop that from the channel. I don't like doing shit like that. I don't like fake views, little stupid views. Like, it was like 8 people that joined that shit for absolutely no reason. But hope each and every one of you guys have a blessed rest of your night. I gave everybody a shout out. Ted, Cat, /Fantasy, Zero, Highlight Workshop, Jada Goddess. Yo, Ram Sa. Peace. Alright, let's get our outro. Ugh.
She didn't have to cut me off. I was nothing. Your love should treat me like
Yo. And I'm gonna see y'all in a little bit. Hey.